Welcome to final BSc Statistics students. In the lesson 7, we start the double sampling plan. From lesson 1 to 6, 6 lessons, we have discussed the single sampling plan in this unit, unit 4. Now we start the discussion of double sampling plan. In the lesson 7, that is, we discuss in this lesson double sampling plan. How do you conduct a double sampling plan? What is the definition? What are the terms used in the double sampling plan? What is the basic procedure of conducting the double sampling plan? How the inspection, what is the inspectional procedure in the double sampling plan? What are the basics in the inspection procedure of the double sampling plan? So in the double sampling plan, we use two samples. In double sampling plan, we use two samples. When we use two samples, for example, if the first sample is not determined, the first sample is not determined whether the lot is going to be accepted or rejected. To take a decision was not made. Then we have to consider the second sample. In order to make a decision, that is one kind of concept. In another particular way, for example, we have considered one particular sample and the lot was rejected based on the first sample. Then we have to consider the second sample. We have to select the second sample and you have to apply some kind of procedure based on both the samples. And such sampling plan is known as double sampling plan. It is usually conducted in rectifying inspection sampling plans. If a sample was taken, first sample was taken, if first sample was taken and the lot was rejected, it was not accepted, then we have considered the second sample. Now based on the second sample that and also information provided from the first sample. Information provided from the first sample and then by considering the second sample, we have to go for the inspectional procedure by inspecting the items in the second sample. And the decision is going to be made about the lot based on both combined samples, sample 1 and sample 2, in the rectifying inspection sampling plans, and such a kind of procedure is known as double sampling plan, in which you have to consider whatever the first sample and the second sample, in both the samples, any particular defective items are found, which are to be replaced with non-defective items. That is the usual procedure. You have to consider. So such kind of sampling plans are known as double sampling plans. Double sampling plans are nothing but simply to specify the inspectional procedures whether to take a decision whether the lot is accepted or rejected based on two samples after inspection of the first sample. Based on two samples, the inspection procedure is going to be considered after inspecting the first sample. That is, first sample was inspected, finished. Then we have to consider the second sample. In the rectifying inspection sampling plans, and such kind of inspectional procedures are known as double sampling plan. Double sampling plan, DSP. So now if we come and discuss the terminology first, and then we discuss what are the steps involved in the procedure of inspection in the double sampling plan. Simply to specify double sampling plan steps of conducting double sampling plan. Now we discuss notation. What are the notation? Capital N, size of the lot size. Lot size. For example, you consider N1, size of first sample. Size of first sample, out of which, for example, D1, number of defectives found in the first sample. Number of defectives found in the first sample, I write in the first sample. In the first sample. C1, acceptance number. In the first sample. Acceptance number in the first sample. Right? Now come and calculate, and then you consider N2. What is N2? Size of the second sample. Second sample. Let D2. D2 is the defectives found in the second sample. The defective items. Defectives obtained in the second sample. What is C2? Now C2 is not acceptance number. This is only the terminology which is differed from all. C2 is acceptance number. In both combined sample. Both the combined samples. C2 is acceptance number in both the combined samples. So now you refer, I tell you again. Capital N is size of the lot. Total number of items produced in a particular day. Usually, it is going to be considered as a lot. Total items of the production. That is lot, size of the lot size. N1, out of which you have to select, out of capital N units in the lot, you have to select one particular sample. The size is N1. The number of units in the first sample is N1. Size of the first sample. It is usually terminology. The terminology is used as size of the first sample. It usually refers size of the first sample. D1, number of defectives in the first sample. In the sample size N1, in the sample of size N1, after inspecting the items, all the items in the first sample, you get some number of defective items for which we are considering as D1. D1 is nothing but a notation of defectives in the first sample. Number of defectives in the first sample. And C1, acceptance number in the first sample. These three are related. N1, D1 and C1. Size of the first sample, number of defectives of the first sample, acceptance number of the first sample in the first sample. And similarly, now N2, these two, N2, D2, C2, N2, size of the second sample. D2, defective units or defective items in the second sample, or defectives found, number of defective items found in the second sample. And C2, acceptance number, it is just not related with the second sample, it is also related with the first sample. How? Acceptance number in both combined samples. It is not just the acceptance number for second sample, not for second sample. It is based on both the samples, it's a combined number. Acceptance number, that is maximum number of allowable defectives in both the combined samples. For example, here we got 3 defective items, here we got 4 defective items. The acceptance number is, for example, it is 8, it is going to be accepted. Then this, such kind of a particular lot is going to be accepted based on the 2 samples, both the combined samples. That is to be looked after in that fashion. C2 is acceptance number, that is maximum number of allowable defectives in both the combined samples, to be considered. Both samples are to be considered. This is the acceptance number. So this is the picture of notation of double sampling plan. Then how do you conduct the double sampling plan? What is the inspectional procedure? What are the steps involved in the conduction of the double sampling plan? We discuss one by one. Hope you understand the terminology. It's very, very simple. You have to understand the terminology so that we can discuss the steps. Now you consider what are the steps. For example, the step 1. What we have to consider in the step 1? You consider, you select first sample of size N1. Select a first sample. The double sampling plan, very first step is nothing but select a first sample of size N1 and discover or find the number of defective items D1 and observe the number of defective items D1. After capital N, you have to select N1. You have to draw N1 items, in which N1, out of N1 items, you inspect all items in the first sample of size N1. You inspect all items in the first sample and then observe how many number of defective items are there. That is, let it be D1. Let it be D1. How many number of defective items we observed? You put the value of that defective items, for which you refer D1. Refer D1 is number of defectives found in the first sample. Number of defectives found in the first sample. So, from capital N, I write clearly. From capital N items, you select small n1. That is first sample. That is the size of the first sample is n1. Total number of items in the first sample are n1. From which you have to find or observe the number of defective items, let it be D1. The number of defective items D1. We have already discussed notation. So, I hope no confusion. So, out of capital N items in the lot, you have to select N1 items in the first sample as a first sample. You have to draw, you have to select first sample of size N1 and then you have to inspect all the items in the first sample and let it be and observe the number of defective items. Let it be D1. Observe number of defective items D1 in this particular first sample. That is the step 1. Now come to step 2. What is step 2? In the step 2, you consider the acceptance, you get the acceptance number C1, and if D1 is less than or equal to C1, if D1, that is number of defectives found in the first sample, you consider here, if D1 is less than or equal to C1, C1 is maximum number of allowable defective items in the first sample. If D1 is less than or equal to C1, then accept the lot. then accept the lot. No need to go further. Here you stop the procedure, then you say, then lot is accepted, then accept the lot. Accept the lot. And by replacing whatsoever defective items discovered or found, which are to be replaced with non-defectives, which means good ones. All discovered defective items which are to be replaced with good ones, and we can stop the procedure. No need to go for taking the second sample and remaining procedure. Hope you understand. You consider in the first step you consider take a sample of size n1, first sample, and you draw the number of defective items. You observe the number of defective items d1, and then the second step what we do is, if d1 is less than or equal to c1, then accept the entire lot, accept the lot, and replace defective items found in this particular procedure of first sample, then which are to be replaced by non-defectives, that is good ones. For example, 2 defective items found, we have to replace those 2 defective items, and we have to accept the lot. By accept, lot is going to be accepted by doing this particular procedure, right? Next, step 3. What is step 3? For example, if d1 is greater than c2, remember it is not c1. Follow here. If d1 is greater than c2, whatsoever number of defectives found in the first sample which crossed c2, what is c2? The acceptance number of both combined sample. That is maximum number of allowable defectives for 2 samples in the double sampling plan. So therefore, whenever it crossed, for example, C1 is 4, C2 is 10, then if D1 crosses what a number of samples, that is sample units, items, which are considered as 20 items. If D1 crossed, that is number of defective items found in the 20 sample items, which were crossed more than 10, that is crossed 10 C2, then here itself we can reject the lot. No need to consider the remaining procedure. Then lot is rejected, then you have to go for 100% inspection. That is in the case where if D1 is greater than C2, the acceptance number of both combined samples, then lot is going to be rejected. Lot is rejected and 100% inspection. 100% inspection is to be called. 100% inspection called off. That is, we have to go for 100% inspection. Which means whatsoever defective items which are to be replaced with the good ones, non-defectives, as well as we have to go to inspect the entire lot. The entire lot is going to be inspected. That is the meaning of 100% inspection. And then by leaving those items, remaining all the items, for example 20 items were inspected, leave those 20 items just by replacing the defective items by non-defectives, and then go for 100% inspection. Remaining all items in the lot are to be inspected. Remaining items in the lot are to be inspected. That is called calling for 100% inspection. Call for 100% inspection. Do 100% inspection. That is step 3. Come to step 4. Step 4. If C1, that is D lies in between C1 and C2, but in this fashion, C1 less than D1, less than or equal to C2, C1 less than D1 and less than or equal to C2. In this case, that is D1 is, you see here, the meaning of D1 is greater than C1, that is the first point. If D1 is less than or equal to C1, this is the case. If D1 is greater than C1, in this case, if D1 is greater than C1, and D1 less than or equal to C2. Not greater than C2 or not less than or equal to C1. You see, these are the two particular cases. D1 less than or equal to C1, D1 greater than C2. But this is the case which is combined of both complementary events, complementary chance of these two. Here in this case, D1 greater than C1 is to be included in the fourth point. In this case, to be included here, D1 less than or equal to C2. That is, if D1 lies in between C1 and C2, but where D1 greater than C1 and D1 less than or equal to C2. In this case, you consider second sample. You consider second sample in the remaining lot of items. In the remaining items which are in the lot, you have to select the second sample from the lot of items, from the lot of remaining items, which means already n1 items were taken for first sample. To inspect the first sample, to inspect the number of items in the first sample, we have drawn n1 items. Which items are, those items are not to be included here. We should keep separate. And then we have to consider the remaining items, which means n minus capital N minus small n1. For example, 1000 items are there. To inspect the first sample, we have considered the first sample of size 20. Then 1000 minus 20, which is 980. 980. From 980 items, you have to select the second sample. In the fourth point, you have to select the second sample. You have to consider the second sample. The second sample is going to be considered. When do you consider? If C1 is less than D1 less than or equal to C2. Okay, that is D1 must be greater than C1 and D1 must be less than or equal to C2. In that case, you have to go for select a second sample, draw a second sample of size n2, draw a second sample of size n2 from which items I write here so that you can understand similar procedure. From which? From the capital N minus small n1, that is remaining items of the lot, you have to draw the second sample of size n2. You have to select second sample of size n2 and also found the number of defective items in the second sample, let it be D2. This is the procedure. If C1 is less than D1 less than or equal to C2, then select the second sample. Then select the second sample of size n2 from the remaining items, that is capital N minus small n1 items. You select the sample of size n2, second sample of size n2, and also discover and also observe what are the number of defective items, D2. What you have to do here, you select the second sample in this particular case from the remaining items, that is of lot capital N minus small n1. You have to consider this particular number of items in the second sample and you have to discover or you have to observe the number of defectives in the second sample, that is D2. That is the fourth step. Right? Now come to the comment we discussed. Fifth and sixth points. What is fifth point? If D1 plus D2 is less than or equal to C2, that is now remaining procedure is based on both combined samples. Remember, remaining procedure depends on both combined samples. If D1 plus D2, that is we are taking the total number of defectives found in the both the samples, D1 samples first and second, that is D1 and D2. Defectives in the first sample observed in the first sample are D1, defectives observed in the second sample are D2. Now we are adding, that is D1 plus D2, that is defectives in both the samples 1 and 2, that is both the samples. That is, if D1 plus D2 is less than or equal to C2, then accept the lot. Then accept the lot. Accept the lot. And here as well, by replacing defectives by non-defectives. That is, you have to replace all defective items found, which are to be replaced by non-defectives, that is good ones. You need not to go for D1 because it is already the same thing we do in the procedure of the 1, 2, 3 steps. 1, 2, 3 steps. What I remember, second step. If D1 is less than or equal to C1, then we accept the lot based on the first sample by replacing defectives with non-defectives. Defectives by non-defectives. That is, these defective items are already replaced with good ones. Now we have to remaining D2 defective items are also replaced if in the case where when D1 plus D2 is less than or equal to C2. If this is the case, if D1 plus D2 is less than or equal to C2, then we accept the lot and by replacing defectives by non-defectives, that is good ones. That is the fifth point. And the sixth point, hope you can easily guess the point. If D1 plus D2 it is greater than C2, if D1 plus D2 it is greater than C2, then reject the lot, reject entire lot, and reject entire lot. And we have to call for 100% inspection. If D1 plus D2 is greater than C2, then reject entire lot based on both the samples, combined samples. The inspectional procedure based on 2 samples, that is double sampling plan. Then we have to call for 100% inspection by replacing, first of all, replace all defectives with non-defectives. Whatsoever selected samples, selected units in the samples. For example, first sample of size 20, second sample of size 30, and total number of units are 50, out of which you need not require, that is, you need not to go for again inspect the items. Remaining items are to be inspected. That is called 100, that is nothing but 100% inspection. But whatsoever the 100% inspection is needed in this case, you have to go for 100% inspection. You have to inspect 100%. All the items are to be inspected. In the case where if D1 plus D2 is greater than C2, we reject the entire lot. Entire lot is rejected. In this case, we have to go for 100% inspection by replacing defectives by non-defectives. Simply we can specify all the defective items are to be replaced with non-defective items. This is the double sampling plan procedure. 6 main steps. 6 steps in the double sampling plan. I recollect. Once again, I repeat all the steps. Step 1. You consider out of capital items, consider first sample. Select a first sample of size N1 and observe the defective items D1. Second step. If D1 is less than or equal to C1, then accept the lot by replacing defective items by non-defective items. Third, if D1 is greater than C2, then reject the entire lot by replacing defectives by the non-defectives, and it is the time for calling the 100% inspection. Then we have to go for 100% inspection. And the fourth step, you see here, it is a mixation of the step 2 and 3 of not possible cases, not possibilities. Then that is if C1 is less than D1 less than equal to C2. C1 less than D1 less than equal to C2. In this case, you have to consider second sample of size N2 from the remaining items of the lot, that is capital N minus small n1. You have to select the sample of size N2 and then you have to observe the defective items D2. The fifth step, if D1 plus D2 is less than or equal to C2, then accept the entire lot. Then accept the lot by replacing defectives by non-defectives. Good ones. Sixth step, if D1 plus D2 is greater than C2, then reject the entire lot and go for 100% inspection by replacing defectives with non-defective items, that is good ones. So this is the systematical procedure of double sampling plan. When do you consider a first sample? When do you accept the lot by based on the first sample? When do you go for select the second sample? When do you accept the lot based on both the combined samples? The information regarding, that is about first and second samples, based on the first and second samples. And when you reject the lot, these are the important points which are to be kept in the mind to calculate everything, especially to calculate operating characteristic curve, which is one of the very important calculation for which the probability of acceptance, probability of accepting the lot, it is going to be specified, for which probability of acceptance is one of the crucial point to calculate OC curve, for which you have to keep all these points, you have to learn, you have to keep these points in your mind so that we can calculate the respective probabilities, that is probability of acceptance, etc. So therefore, this is one of the crucial definition. We have to learn all the terminology and the steps in the double sampling plan. Hope you understand my point of view.